everybody. Today I'm with Gordon, aka Casper 50, and we're about to review his car. So I've driven it once before, I guess twice technically, but once in its current form. So I'm excited to drive it again. For those of you that don't follow him on Instagram, go ahead and follow him. I'll put it right here on the screen. But this is a VMP Gen 2, right? VMP Gen 2 Stage 2 car, and it makes 645 rear-wheel horsepower and 545 rear-wheel torque. So it's quite a bit of fun to drive. A Gen 2 short block with the Ben Calamer Stage 2 transmission and an MGW short throw shifter. It all feels really good. It feels really solid. My car's clutch is super heavy, and this one is quite a bit lighter, so it feels pretty good. And the shifter feels amazing. MGW is the way to go. I don't think I'd ever get anything other than that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Today we're on some back roads in Mexico, and we're gonna see what his car can do. So right off the bat, it feels really smooth. The power delivery is really linear, but once you get up top, it just keeps on pulling. So obviously I'm not in the upper RPM ranges because we're on back roads, but handling wise it feels really good. It pretty much has full suspension done to it. It's got BMR drag springs with Coney orange shocks, struts, and it also has relocation brackets for the control arms, and then it also has an upgraded panhard bar, and then it also has a one-piece drive shaft. So everything feels really tight and solid. Through the corners it's pretty nice, but this is definitely more of a straight line car. It's a 2014 Mustang GT. Like I said, it has the Gen 2 short block in it, and it is a true track pack car, premium with Recaro, so it's a pretty rare spec, and it's Oxford white on the outside, really nice paint color, and Gordon actually has a truck right now that matches it, so they go really well together. But so far, you know, it's easily dailyable. He doesn't daily right now, but he drove it here to where we are, all the way from Virginia, so it was like a 9-hour drive. And I guess you didn't really have any issues.
Not at all.
Kind of taking it slow on these back roads right now, but once it opens up, just kidding, there's 2 state troopers right now. So in the car, Gordon has a lot of tasteful upgrades as well. He's got the GT500 steering wheel, and then he wrapped his dash a nice white color to match the exterior, and then right here on like the center console area and the gauge surrounds, he has it's kind of like a, I don't know, it almost looks like a bass boat because it's like a black, really sparkly material that he wrapped it in. It looks really good, definitely unique. So we're gonna keep going through this back road. Like I said, with it being a track pack car, it does have the Brembos up front, which feel pretty good. The track pack cars came with the 373 gear ratio, so with a car like this with a supercharger, Gordon just told me it'll pull hardest in 3rd gear. So that's when that's the gear we're gonna pick to go ahead and do our hardest pull in. But it has basically, I guess you could say, a full exhaust setup. It has cat deletes, resonator delete, it's got an H-pipe, and then Corsa Extreme axle backs with the black quad tips, which look really good. And it sounds great. My car is a similar setup, except I have long tubes and an X-pipe, and they both sound really good. There's just like a different type of sound. His car definitely pops a lot more than mine though, and they're very loud pops. It feels pretty level cornering, which you know, I'm not really surprised by with the full suspension setup. And a lot of people go for like super low springs or coilovers or something, but I feel like the stance of this and the fitment is like perfect for my taste. It's functional, but it still looks really good. So on the exterior of the car, he's got a lot of stuff done to it as well. He's got the Cervini Stalker 2 hood, which is what I had on my V6 Mustang. It's one of my favorite hoods, and a lot of people don't do it, but it looks really good, and it looks even better in person than what most people think. A lot of people see it and they don't like it very much, but in person I think it looks way better. And I had always preferred them on the 11 to 12s, and I didn't think they looked great on the 13 14s, but it looks really good on this car, especially with the Shelby front end that he has on it. But other than that, it's got some nice side splitters on it. It's got diode dynamic LED side markers, and he's got the RTR deck lid panel with the GT also got the RTR license plate surround, which is a pretty rare item, kind of hard to come by now since they're not producing those anymore. And the wheel and tire setup, he's got piano black Forged Star F14s. He's got Michelin Pilot Super Sports with 285 in the rear. And like I said, the wheel and tire setup along with the suspension gives a really good fitment. It looks really good. It's functional, but it still has kind of that low aggressive stance. This is one of those cars where it's like effortless to go fast, and because it's set up so well, you don't feel like you're going that fast, which can be a little dangerous, but you know, I'm not doing anything crazy right now. I'd also like to mention that Gordon can shift this car incredibly well. He's one of the few people that I've seen that can actually drive an MT82 well, so I won't be able to drive it as well as he can, but I'm going to give it my best effort. We'll see what I can do. It's just a really smooth car. Feels awesome. And this road we're on is great too. So for me, fourth gear is kind of the gear that this car lives in for this type of road. And it keeps the RPMs in a decent range where you can easily access the power, but it's not revving out the motor too high the whole time. The brakes work well. They don't have a super hard bite initially. They're pretty linear, which is nice. I prefer that. But they stop really well, and you don't feel like they're numb or anything, or like they're fading. Oh, my hand's so sweaty it slipped off the shifter. Christ. Dang. Downshifts sound good. So my camera battery's about to die, and the pole that you just saw, Gordon, we think his car shot a flame or something, or we don't know what happened, but the H pipe
back pressure,
yeah,
caused the over the axle pipe that meets the H pipe to just kind of fall off.
So right now we're just driving with the pipe dragging a little bit here and there to my friend Max's house, where we're gonna try to fix it. So it's super loud in here right now, but we're almost there. We've driven for like 5 miles. We have like 3 more to go. So hopefully we make it without any other complications, but we're almost there. So loud.
Yeah, I had to turn off the watt box because I wasn't trying to shoot any flames and have them spit out right here. That wouldn't have been very good. I'm basically running dumps at this point.
Yeah, it's very loud.
Very obnoxious.
And it vibrates everything. Oh. Well.
Oh, hell yeah.
The last clip that you just saw was actually right whenever we were fixing the exhaust. So what happened was, in my old apartment, there were a lot of speed bumps, and we're thinking that where the over axles meet the H-pipe, the clamps rubbed against the speed bump, causing them to loosen because they got wore down. And during that big shift that he did, there was so much pressure, it just kind of blew the clamps out and it popped out. So didn't really know what happened at first. I didn't even really realize something had happened, but he was down the street and I was recording and he called me because he was going to do a flyby, and he told me that he thought something was like majorly wrong with the car. He thought he blew the motor at first or something. So he came back by me, it sounded ridiculous, and I get in, it's dragging on the ground. We go to a gas station, he gets some gloves so he can touch the exhaust since it was hot, and we tried getting it back in and we really couldn't. So after trying a few times, we ended up driving to my friend Max's house. He was like 15 minutes away. The last clip you saw was on an incline because he didn't have a low profile jack, so we couldn't fit it underneath the car unless we were on an incline like that. So anyway, it all got wrapped up. He got the car fixed, and by the time we were done, the sun was about to set, so we really couldn't finish the video, and he was kind of paranoid and didn't want anything else to break. So yeah, that's the video, that's the review. It's a really fun car. The wide open throttle pulls that I did do were crazy. It's such a fun car, and the power response is amazing from that supercharger. So unfortunately now he's selling the car and he's parting it out, so we won't be able to finish the video, but that's about as bad of an experience that I've had trying to film a review as far as anything going wrong goes. And like, the car was great and it was completely out of his control. It was the speed bump's fault at my place, we're assuming, so it happens. But thank you guys for watching what we could get of the review. Hopefully you were somewhat entertained by what happened. So with that being said, that'll be the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.